growing up, I was never really introduced to religion. My parents were always very successful, very hardworking people, and that's what they taught me. And they taught me that if you treat people well, life would be good. So that's what I took with me as I became an adult. I worked hard, was very successful, raised 2 children, and had a fairly happy marriage. Unfortunately, after 20 years, I found myself in a marriage that had dissolved and trying to start life over. And that picks me up to December, this past December, where I just ended a 2-year relationship with a woman that I was engaged to, and we had recently bought a home together. So here I was in December. Things weren't going too well. Wasn't sure what was going on in my life, and I was kind of depressed. I'm always pretty much an upbeat person, but things were just kind of dragging for me. I didn't really understand, and I was searching for answers. Well, I had a good friend that actually attended Living Hope Church, and she suggested that I come in January, that they were going to start a program called Recovery. So I thought, what the heck, what do I have to lose? The few experiences I had with church, I never really understood what it was all about. I always felt like the duck out of water, but it was worth a shot. And I remember the first day I came in, I kind of sat in the back, listened to some great music, listened to Pastor Chad give his story, and I started feeling goosebumps, and I wasn't quite sure what that was all about. In fact, I remember him inviting the group to get up if they felt like it and write a few words on the wall, on the paper that were hanging on the wall. And I found myself getting up and writing a few things on the wall, and I wrote 2 words. I wrote the word hope, and I wrote the word understanding, because that's really what I was searching for in life. I didn't really know what was next and what was going on, and I needed some hope that things were going to get better in my life. Now as I flash back on my work life, I got more bad news in February. The company I was working for was going to close our offices, and within 90 days I would be out of work. And I thought, oh great, now what's going to go wrong? I've got 2 mortgages, I've got a failed relationship, I've got to find a new job, now what do I do? So I went on the bandwagon, did what everybody's supposed to do, and started looking for a job. But not knowing where I was going to be, if I was going to be in Minneapolis or if I was going to be somewhere else in the country. So it was kind of a desperate time, and I was surrounded by people that were desperately looking for work as well. Then things started changing. Actually, they changed on Easter Sunday for me. That was the day that I went to church. I'd never been to an Easter Sunday service, and I found myself getting very emotional. And I remember the point in time where Pastor Chad asked us to stand and pray with him, and he asked us to close our eyes, and he was talking to us about taking that walk with Christ, and if you were ready, it would just be between you and God, and if you would just raise your hand that nobody else would know. And I found my hand raising high into the sky, and it was at that moment that my body, I felt a wave move through me. I can't really describe what that means or how that felt, but there was a motion that went through me that was very powerful and very emotional. And I remember sitting through the rest of the service on the verge of tears. And then I drove home, and I actually cried all the way home, because I think I understood it at that point in time. The whole intellectual side of understanding what accepting God was about wasn't about understanding it from an intellectual side, but it was a feeling. It was accepting. And from that moment on, my relationship with God was much closer. When I would say a prayer, it actually meant something. It meant that I was asking for a favor or asking for guidance or asking for strength. And it was at that moment, believe it or not, things actually did start looking up for me. I found a job in a beautiful part of the country, and not only did I find a job, I found a company that was willing to work with me on my start time so I could finish my obligation with my current company for financial reasons. So as I move forward, and I'm getting ready to end my current job and start my new job in a few days, I'm looking forward to the move. Yeah, I'm nervous, I'm scared, but I also know that I'm not going alone. I've God on my side, and I'm looking forward to learning the intellectual side now to help me with my faith in God. So as I close, I'd like to thank my friend, number 1, who introduced me to Living Hope Church, and number 2, to the people of Living Church who made me feel comfortable and helped share and show me the glory of God. Thank you.